My next guest, a four-time Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, studio analyst for Fox NFL Sunday, Rob Gronkowski. How many questions do I have to ask you until we talk about the dog and cloning?
4 questions minimum.
No, this is not Dudes on Dudes. This is not. This is the Up and Adam show. What can you? Did you know this was happening? What do you know?
All right, hit me with the question. Hit it.
What did you know before he? Did you know? Have you met the dog? What do you know? Explain this to me.
I have never met the dog. I had absolutely no clue that Tom was cloning his dog. What is really wild is that there's a Frenchie that lives in our place in New York City, and Camille told me last week, hey, I just ran into one of our neighbors and they just cloned their Frenchie.
No, it's an epidemic.
And Camille was telling me all about it, and they took like a piece of their ear and like a piece of their bum or something and cloned the dog. And then a week later, it's big news everywhere that Tom Brady cloned his dog. So that was a surprise to me. I had no clue he was doing that. That's the first time I heard the news. But what's wild is just Camille telling me how our neighbor did that in New York City. So that was like just a coincidence. I heard it twice in 1 week. So is that the thing to do? That's kind of weird to me. The good thing about Ralphie is that Camille and I say he's going to live forever. And we say it at least 5 times a week. So he's going to live forever. So I don't have to worry about cloning Ralphie because of that reason.
If you... Just to put on your best scientific hat, you're brilliant. You really are. How do you think you clone a dog? How does this work?
I don't know. Camille said they take like a piece of their DNA from their ear and from their butt or a limb or something or out of their leg. I'm not exactly sure. And you clone the dog. From what Camille told me, actually, this was literally all went down 2 days ago. She told me all about this. We had a conversation about this, and then the news broke about Tom cloning his dog. And what if it's fake news? That could be fake news. Like, is there a direct quote from Tom that he cloned his dog? I'm not sure.
Great question.
Yeah, we actually got to get that.
I think he posted.
If it's not fake news or
he
owns. If it's real.
No, this is like a Tom's on the way to being the richest man alive, and he invested in the company that's doing this. So really, you should be saying, of course you'll clone anything because you want to support Tom's creepy cloning company.
I mean, I need more details, and I need more scientific evidence and all that.
Yeah, you think it's fake. You think it's fake.
And make a wise decision if I believe cloning, is good or not, for this world. So I can't really make a decision until I get informed with more information, okay? But from what I hear real quick, from what Camille told me, is that they take the piece of DNA and they clone the dog and it replicates the same exact look, but the personality is not the same. And that's what you kind of really want in a clone dog is the personality. You don't fall in love. You can fall in love with the looks, but you truly fall in love with a dog because of their personality. Like Ralphie looks great. He really does. But his personality, I meet other Frenchies and I tell Ralphie, like, yo, Ralphie, that Frenchie's better looking than you. But let me tell you, that your personality is why I love you way more than that good looking Frenchie, Ralphie. So it's all about personality.
Ralphie's a good looking Frenchie. Don't say.
He's a 9.5 out of 10.
Now, in this conversation with Camille, did she bring it up because she's like, what do you think? Like, does she want to clone Ralphie?
Absolutely not. She says the same thing every single time. Ralphie's going to live forever. And I think that she needs information more that's backed with scientific evidence and all that stuff before she even makes a wise decision. She was just telling me all about it, but I don't think she's really into the clone game. Yeah. But we just keep saying Ralphie. Yeah, hey.
Thomas, I have a question for you. What are the chances that Drake Maye is cloned by Tom Brady's clone?
I mean, there's kind of similarities in ways like Tom at the beginning of his career, had the baby fat still, he had the blown up cheeks, and Drake Maye kind of has that similar look, kind of same hairstyle, a little bit of the same smile. So this is a possibility, Kay. You might be onto something. What are you, an investigator?
I want to be an investor. Tom never calls me to invest in any of his millions of become a billionaire things that he's got going. Tom, I just want to call. I just want give me a call. Well, maybe we could clone 2011 Gronk and put you on a team. Where should we put you if we cloned you at 2011 Prime Gronk?
All right, if it was right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I would go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
In your 2011 self would go on the 2025 Bucks. Why?
Yes, yes, that is correct. I feel like I would be the missing piece. They got a pretty solid tight end in Kate Allen, but we're similar. We're not the same exact players. We would counter off of each other very well at the tight end position. We could go double tight plenty of times, but I think I would be able to take that offense with Baker Mayfield to a whole nother level if 2011 Gronk was out there.
Do you think that there's human clones running around, like famous people?
I don't think there's any clones running around, but I think there's possibly some aliens running around, in this world right now on this earth.
But not that we created or like messed with. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a world where like, when they show like celebrities that look just like them, like other celebrities from like a long time ago? There's something to that for sure.
But there is also 8 billion people on this earth now, okay?
True.
Like, some people have to look alike eventually.
I don't understand, how can they clone anything or everything, yet I somehow still need to like plug my phone in to get fully charged? Like, when are they going to solve that problem? Isn't that a bigger, like, that's what makes me stop believing in, like, we went to the moon, we did all, can you guys just make it so that I don't have to plug my phone in every 5 seconds? How about that? How about you guys chew on that, you smarties? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that won't ever happen because you got to use it, so the charge eventually goes down. But I believe that there's going to be a phone where you can not charge for,
that's what I need.
Like 2-3 days it's going to last for.
Work on that. I don't need another, like, Joaquin Phoenix running around. Thank you.
They need to work on that. Charging your phone's annoying.
Yeah, FanDuel Sportsbook wants us to talk football, and we shall. Let's do it right here, right now. Blockbuster trades. It was such a fun day. Such a fun day. The Colts get 2-time All-Pro, Sauce Gardner. Heavy price, lot to pay, 2 first-round picks, and they get A.D. Mitchell, who'll have a nice little opportunity to get some looks here and mature as a receiver. What did you think of this deal? What was your big takeaway?
Our big takeaway was that the Indianapolis Colts are all in right now. They're going for the Super Bowl this year. They're going for a deep playoff run, and you got to respect it. I mean, they're 7-2 right now, and when you get that opportunity to have a deep run in the playoffs, to have a solid season, to possibly go to the Super Bowl, you got to go all in, and you got to respect, what the process is that they're doing. I mean, the opportunity to be this good, leading the AFC at 7-2, playing high quality football and to upgrade your team so you get even better. I mean, you got to do that because the opportunity isn't always going to be there. There's 32 teams in the NFL. So Indianapolis Colts saw an opportunity. They took it, and the Jets won on this trade too. Definitely. I think the Colts may have given up, if there's anything about this trade, they may have given up just a tad bit too much. Maybe the 2 first-round picks, don't send that player as well over to the Jets, or maybe a first-round pick, second-round pick, and that player, but they might have given up just a tad bit too much. But I would say in the end, both teams won in this trade.
We're talking about what it might mean for the Colts, right? I love Coach Lou. Coach Lou has a track record of giving it to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. He's tough on them. He has success, landed wins against them, kind of has it figured out. And now he can be super aggressive, right? Now you've got Sauce, Charvarius Ward. They'll be able to stay with these receivers, whoever it might be, and let this pass rush get home and do its thing. It's a very cute thing that he'll get to be very aggressive and make waves with this defense, Coach Lou knowing what he knows. Let's look at the odds here. They just jumped. Colts jumped the Packers in Super Bowl odds after the trade. I don't know if we have it on the screen. Colts jumped the Packers. Yeah. Your thoughts on, like, is this where the Colts should be post-Sauce?
Yeah, definitely. The Colts should be up there. I'm glad they jumped in front of the Packers. I'm not really high on the Packers at all. I mean, their offense hasn't been able to really produce all year. And they've shown now that they can get beat on the defensive side of the ball. But this kind of looks pretty accurate here. I mean, you got to toss the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and maybe put the Buccaneers in front of the Packers as well. Okay. But overall, I like the odds. I would say those are probably the top, 6 teams that, shall be having the best chance to go to the Super Bowl.
We've been saying so many weeks that you want to maybe add something, a receiver, something to this Pats team. They stayed pat. They did nothing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they did nothing. And there's always a lot of hype at the trade deadline every single year. And actually, I'm surprised that what went down yesterday before the trade line, there was more trades and more, I would say, splashes of big names that got traded that I thought were going to get traded. Usually every year there's a lot of noise around those trades. But with the Patriots, absolutely nothing went down. They were actually sellers. They got rid of a couple players last week before the trade line. And I don't know what that really means for the Patriots. I thought they were going to upgrade. I thought they were going to kind of be like the Indianapolis Colts and make a splashy trade like that to upgrade whatever position they thought they would need to in order to compete and have a deep playoff run. So clearly Coach Vrabel is satisfied with what they have, or teams were asking for too much and hoping the Patriots were desperate. And when people think you're desperate, you should never make a trade, because giving up too much for a player is not good. So if that's the case, I'm glad the Patriots didn't make a trade then. And guess what? They have, what, $60 million left in the salary cap? I mean,
I think they have the most.
They must have a plan for the future as well, okay? They're building up. This is just the first year that Vrabel's there and the front office there and all those coaches are there. They're going to make big splashes eventually. If it's not this year, it's going to be in the offseason.
They're in an interesting spot, and it's like a great spot to be in, but also they found themselves with this record, right? And they found themselves in this AFC that has the Patriots right now digging, trying to get up to the top of the division. You know what I mean? So the time, like I'm having a tough time, and I know New England well. I covered that time, and I know like how Mr. Kraft operates. And I'm almost like, I think there's two things happening at once. Like they're rebuilding. So like people are forgetting that because of this record and what Drake Maye looks like. So like it's almost like a house money thing. Like we're well ahead of schedule because we still need pieces. They also have been healthy this whole season. They really, outside of a couple, Booty's been a little banged up, but he's fine. Harold Landry, I thought, was more hurt than he is. But I don't know if they have the depth to like do something this year. And then they did nothing because they're still rebuilding, and they're going to take all that money in the draft, and they couldn't find the right deal, is what we're saying, right? They could have made a deal, wasn't the right deal. But then again, I'm like, bro, you're 7-2 and the AFC's wide open. The Colts just went for it. Now, granted, other teams like the Chargers didn't really do much, and other teams, but like part of me does want to be like, why wouldn't you go add what's available? Because you are in a rookie window with this quarterback. Add whatever to go.
That's what I was trying to say, Kay, and that's why I was so hard on them to make the trade, and they have the room for it. They really do. And the only reason why I just, can't see why they didn't make any trades was because people were asking for too much for whatever players they wanted. That's the only reason I can come down to on why they didn't make a splashy trade, because they have the room for it, and this is the opportunity to go for it, like you just said, Kay, as well.
Can this roster... There's been the indictment on this thing is like, over the years, the past couple of years, is like talent. We don't have talent. We don't have talent. They have some talent. They've got young guys. They've got our veterans, Stephon Diggs, all of that. Can this roster go to a Super Bowl? Because that's the landscape of the league right now. They could go. Can this roster go?
Yes. I truly believe. Basically, I would say half of the rosters in the NFL can go to the Super Bowl. If half of those rosters all come together and play together as a team, and everyone's on the same page in the organization. There's about 16, 18 teams that have a capable roster. It's all about putting it together on the football field on every Sunday, every given Sunday that is, and playing your best football after Thanksgiving and in the playoffs. And Patriots are one of those top 16, 18 teams with a roster that can do that, and it's all about being healthy in the end and playing your best football and getting it all together and everyone being on the same page from top to bottom. And they're going to really have to stick it out and get on that page if they really, really want to have a run at the Super Bowl when they make the playoffs.
I would have liked them to see them add like an edge. I think like depth will matter down the stretch. Harrison, can you get in here? I know that they're plus 3,000 to make the Super Bowl. It's so crazy because they're rebuilding. They shouldn't be here, but guess what they are? So then it's like, do boldly what you do at all. They're 13th in odds. They're behind the Niners. Was there an edge that you, like, Ham, that you can come up with? Or, like, I know, like, Gronk wanted a receiver potentially. What would we have liked to see them do?
Yeah, I mean, Trey Hendrickson was floating around out there. Obviously, it didn't seem like the Bengals were motivated to move him. Bradley Chubb was another name I saw thrown around, which would have been interesting if the Dolphins were willing to deal him in the division. That might have been a holdup there. or maybe if they got ahead of it, Jalen Phillips ended up getting traded to the
that
Eagles.
sucked for them,
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there wasn't a deal. Maybe there wasn't a deal to be made. I feel like the Bengals with the Trey Hendrickson Gronk were like, if you go to like a car lot and want a car, like a used car sales lot or something, and the guy's like just like a jerk from the beginning. Like he's not somebody that's going to want to make. I think that's how the Bengals have handled Trey. Like teams maybe asked, but the Bengals weren't exactly like, "What do you like about the car? Let's talk about." I think they were just like, you know, in the corner, not really like looking up and trying to help the customer. That's what it feels like as a fan.
Well, yeah, it kind of does a little bit in the back and forth and the negotiating and no one finally getting to the final price. Like, and then finally they probably got to like a price where they agreed on, and then the customer came and opened up the car to the door, and the door handle fell off at the end, so then the deal didn't go through again.
Poor
I know
Trey.
what you're saying. Yeah, poor Trey. But it's okay. He's having a great career. He had a solid contract before. He's getting paid decently this year. But that would have actually been the perfect guy to go over to the Patriots, because it's just a one-year deal. It could have been like a third, fourth round pick. It wouldn't have hurt the Patriots in the long run at all. It would have been a perfect car rental, taking it from the car rental lot in Cincinnati.
It's true, and they didn't get him. I think you're probably right. There wasn't the right deal to be made, and I hope that they can. I think if they can stay healthy, they got a real chance here. When you guys want to hang out on FanDuel Sportsbook, it is plus. I think Ham said 2,000 plus. Plus 3,000 to make the Super Bowl, which feels crazy behind the Niners. Short break here. Back with Gronk. He's going to hydrate, as one does, and then we'll be back to talk. We're going to have you the defense of Daboll. Let's just do it right now. This is why you should subscribe to the YouTube. Listen, Giants also dead quiet at the deadline. Not surprising, right? It's all about trying to get the right pieces around Jackson Dart in the future. People are questioning the right leadership for Jackson Dart in the future. People want him fired. New York media, he's not the guy. Another 2-7 start, which is hard to debate. What would you say to those fans who want Daboll to not keep his job?
Well, it's really hard to debate, in this situation, because the NFL is all about winning and losing. And if you look at Daboll's record, it doesn't really favor him at all, in this conversation. Obviously, if you look at it, you're going to say he needs to go. He needs to get fired. But with my experience, he knows how to get the best out of players. He knows how to bring the best out of them so they can play at the highest level and have fun with the game. If you're having fun with the game, you can play your best football. It makes it enjoyable. When it's enjoyable, you go out there and make plays, and that's what he did when he was my coach. I don't know truly Daboll as a head coach, but in my defense, I really, really like him. I really think, Jackson Dart is a good fit for him. The way that the chemistry you see on the field with them as well. It looks like Jackson Dart's playing at a high level. Cam Scatterbo was playing great as well. Unfortunately, he went down with an injury. Malik Neighbors went down with an injury as well, which hurt the Giants overall. I would say give Daboll just one more year. One more year with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo coming back next year, another offseason. And if he can't win next year, and if he does not show any heart, if they don't show heart at the end of the season this year and they don't play hard, well, then you can can them this year. And if you see the team give up and looks like they don't want to be on the field and they're not enjoying the game, then yes, that means they're giving up on Daboll, and then he's going to have to go. But in my mind, how I see it, they're still playing hard. That means they're still believing in the coach. So possibly one more year, and then from there, you can make a decision.
If they do decide to part ways, maybe mutually, maybe whatever, what kind? There's somebody was talking about Lane Kiffin to these Giants. Is that do you subscribe to that? Is that crazy town?
That is pretty wild. Lane Kiffin's been like all over the place in college football. Like I remember, like it was like yesterday, he was the Florida Atlantic University head coach, and then all of a sudden he's like has a top 10 program. He's in the SEC and he's just dominating all over the place. I just feel like Lane Kiffin. I mean, I never met the guy, but just seeing his personality, I just feel like he's great for the college football. Okay. His antics and all that. I think he's a great fit. I love what he's doing. I love his personality. I love how he's acting. I just don't think that would translate to the NFL. NFL's a little different, type of style.
He did it, right? He was with the Raiders. Probably not a fair assessment of what.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Of what he can do. I don't. Yeah, but I do think like him and Jackson would be a vibe.
You would have to have a quarterback that's kind of like a collegey type bro, and Jackson Dart is a collegey type
okay,
bro.
you're the best.
So they would get back together and have a good time. But I love Lane Kiffin and the way he does it in college. Like it's entertaining. Why ruin it? Why
ruin it is right. I want to ask you about this Cardinals news, right? And I said it yesterday. If you watch the tape, it should be Brissett. Brissett, the offense looks better. Kyler gets benched. Gannon comes out and he says, "This is the guy that I want." So now Brissett, you were with him. We looked back at it. Can I get that in script? Sorry. I have exact. I think it was week 3, Schmashmakegate year. Do we have that? Can we go back to that, please? Sorry, Gronk. One sec.
Let's check it out.
I want to show highlights from you didn't get the ball thrown to you at all in this game, but I want to ask you what you remember. I mean, Brissett's put together a successful tenure in the NFL. What do you remember about this year, his rookie year, the 1 year you two overlapped?
Oh, yeah, actually, okay, I just called you Camille. Okay, actually, I did get one route thrown to me. I was coming off a hamstring injury, and I could barely
one catch.
run. Yeah, and he threw it over to me, and, like, it was awful. Like, I shouldn't really have been out there. I was capable to block, but I wasn't really capable to run a route in this game. And he still threw me a pass, and I just caught it and kind of went down. I think he threw me a fade route, too, but I didn't even try for it because I just wasn't there yet. But JACOBY, you know, he's a legit player. Like, he's got a grasp of the game of football, and that's why you see him succeeding, you know, down in Arizona, you know. He knows how to handle the offense. He's a leader out there. He knows how to put the guys in the best position. He knows how to read defenses. I mean, he doesn't have the best tangibles, but that doesn't matter. He has tangibles of a big heart. You know, he wants to go out there and compete and win. He beat Brady when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, he was a solid backup with the Patriots, and now you see what he's doing with Arizona. It's no surprise. Last year, he was put in a very terrible situation with the New England Patriots, so you got to count out that season. That doesn't count. But other than that, he's been pretty solid. He really has been. Yeah,
pretty solid, and somehow the offense looks much better with Brissett, who you question his tangibles and his, not question, but like he's not a first overall pick. Kyler Murray was. Is Kyler Murray a starting quarterback next year?
Yeah, Kyler Murray will be a starting quarterback next year. I think he'll finally be gone from the Arizona Cardinals, especially with JACOBY, you know, showing the success that he has. And when JACOBY came to us as well in New England, like, we knew we had 3 starting quarterbacks on our roster with Garoppolo, JACOBY, Brissett, and then obviously Tom. And it was like, wow, just how many starting quarterbacks were always the backup to Tom, and how, you know, Bill would grab someone in the 3rd, 4th round, and that's at the quarterback position, and eventually they would go be a starter somewhere else, you know, and there's so many of those. But Kyler Murray will be a starting quarterback. I just don't think for the Arizona Cardinals, and then whatever team gets him, you know, it'll probably be a discounted price if his guaranteed money's out this year.
It's one of the more, we gotta get to prep a shot in it, but really one of the more disappointing. I mean, we were talking about like how he'd be better than Lamar Jackson before the draft, remember? And even when he got drafted, like, because he has that talent. Like, it's one of the most like unfulfilled ceilings of talent I can think of.
Well, okay, here we go. The definition of the NFL is who wants it more, who has the bigger heart, who wants to go out there and actually love the game of football and give it their all and want it. Julian Edelman wanted it more than so many other players, and that's why he was dominant. Kyler Murray, I don't know. I can't speak for him, you know, but usually when you have that much talent and the tangibles are all there, it means your heart just really isn't in the game and you don't want it like the other players do, and that's why you can't step up and win games. That's the only conclusion, you know, I can really get to, because I just saw JACOBY Brissett go in there and run that offense very efficiently and get the ball to the players they need to. So that's only, I've seen it so many times, so many players. Like, hey, I wasn't the most talented tight end, but I wanted that freaking ball, and I wanted to run people over. I just wanted to run hard and play hard. I was just a football player who wanted it. There's plenty of tight ends with more talent than me. I just wanted it more.
Do you really believe that? Do you believe that you like that if your heart wasn't in it and you just showed up to work, clocking in 95, that you wouldn't also have done what you did?
No. There was times where I was on that page, Kay, like plenty of times in my career where it's like, I don't even want to be there and I'm just going through the motions. I get it done, but like, it's not as enjoyable. You don't really put up the best game that you could have possibly put up. There's times where I leave the game and I'm like, wow, if I really wanted to play that game, I would have went for 150. Instead, I went for like 60 yards just because the motion's been there because I've been doing it for so long.
Enter Tom Brady in your ear, like get the F.
It happens.
Yeah,
but that's the NFL's tough, and it can knock you down. All the hits and all that. Maybe you don't feel like playing that game, but at the quarterback position, you got to be up every single week, and you're not taking the hits like that. So your body and mind should be prepared every week.
The over/under for Lamar Jackson's passing yards is set at 236.5. Does he go over or under?
I think he's going to go under. He's going to have one of those games where he throws like 4 or 5 touchdowns, but like the yardage total is only like 180 to like 220 yards.
Can we make that a prop, please? Have over 6 touchdowns? Or can we have 5 touchdowns over?
4 or 5.
Okay.
I mean, Gronk, you couldn't have been more right about Lamar's game. He was under the 236, and he had 4 touchdowns. So for that, I'm giving you an extra point today. So we are all tied here in Prop
Okay,
Shot
I'm
at
quitting.
15.
I'm quitting mid-season. This is absolute.
I love your rules, baby. I love your rules. You the man.
We're here to serve the customers, Kay, and Gronk went above and beyond for our loyal FanDuel Sportsbook customers.
Do you think this is going to go well for anyone? Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's going well for me. It's going well for Hamilton. It's going well for me. It's going well for all the customers.
Okay. We need to investigate
I'm an
this.
analyst, Kay. I analyze football.
Go on.
All right, Gronk, and because you were so great last week, we're going to start with you again here. The line for Bo Nix's passing touchdowns tomorrow is 1.5. Does he go over or under that?
This is the proudest moment of my time on the Kay Adams Show. Thank you, guys, for real. But Bo Nix, I mean, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. 1.5 touchdowns. He'll probably do that in the fourth quarter. He probably won't throw a completion all game, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter throw 2 touchdowns. So I'm going over.
All right, okay, your turn. Ashton Genty's line.
Is he going to get an extra point for that, even though it's the most obvious thing in the entire world that Bo does it in the fourth? Or
yeah, if he throws 2 in the fourth quarter, we'll give Gronk an extra point.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, your turn. Ashton Genty's line.
I'm going to say Sean Payton will be on the field at some point yelling at someone. Can I get extra points for that then, or?
No, that's not.
No. Okay, got it. Okay, go on.
Ashton Genty's line for rushing yards, 55.5. Does he go over or under?
I'm going to go over. This is a, pun intended, stand-alone primetime game. He's going to stand up and run. This is a low bar to clear. I don't know if I like it. Ashton, you're a rookie. I'd be disappointed by this line. I'd be like, huh? I'm going to absolutely hit the over on that.
All right, Gronk, back to you. We're going tight ends. Brock Bowers receiving yards line, 66.5. Does he go over that?
Easy cheesy. Brock Bowers is back. He's healthy. He's dominant. He took his game to a whole nother level again last week, and it's going to continue. He's going over.
Why is Gronk doing like the W? It's so funny. I love that. Okay, go on.
He's feeling himself after tying this up. Yeah. All right,
cheating is fun for everyone. Go on.
Broncos side, J.K. Dobbins line for rushing yards, 71.5. Does he go over or under that?
71.5. I'm going to go over. There is people forget about him. He's like a top 5 rusher this year. I think the Broncos are going to build a nice lead, and he's going to take over down the stretch.
All right, Gronk, 1 anytime touchdown score for the Broncos in this game.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I will be going with J.K. Dobbins to have an anytime touchdown score for the Denver Broncos.
All right, I see what you're doing.
J.K. Dobbins.
I see what he's doing there.
All right, okay, 1 anytime touchdown score for the Raiders.
Yeah, he's trying to. He took my guy. That means okay. All right, I see what you're. I'll take Brock Bowers. Suck on that, Gronk. I'm going to take him. 3 touchdown game last week. He's getting at least 1 tomorrow night. Easy peasy done.
I don't know. I think he's going to go for like 150 yards and no touchdowns this game. And now if that happens, bonus point.
Yeah, apparently those are the rules. This is the last time we do prop a shot because this is absolute malarkey. Okay, here's to recap. Let's take a look at this. These are my props that Hamilton picked for me because he apparently is just the king of the world. Ashton Genty over 55.5. I actually really like that one, that over. Guys, hit that prop up on FanDuel Sportsbook. J.K. Dobbins over 71.5 rushing yards. And I do believe Brock Bowers will have at least 1 touchdown. He's the anytime touchdown touchdown score. Gronk has Bo Nix over 1.5 passing touchdowns, probably in the fourth quarter. Brock Bowers over 66.5 receiving yards, and J.K. Dobbins getting in the end zone. By the way, FanDuel Sportsbook has another $2 million, there he is, Thursday touchdown jackpot going for this game. All you have to do is pick an anytime touchdown score. If your choice scores the first or the last touchdown, first to last, you win a share of the $2 million pot. Gronk, good to see you. Thank you.
Hey, I'll see you next time with my clone.
With your clone. See you, my friend. I don't know if the dudes on dudes back there. I don't know where you are, what you're doing, but you're the absolute best.